Okay, this video is for Kevin for how you find a race. So you launch iRacing UI, not the iRacing member website. That works similar, but these instructions are specific to the iRacing UI app, which is the one that's more up to date and uh, the one that they're still improving and making changes on going forward. The other one's going to get discontinued at some point. Anyway, you can navigate using this stuff over here on the right. I don't usually use that, but it all works this way too. Um, or you can go over here on the left. And this is usually what I do. I click on Go Racing, and from here you have a list of stuff. And so I have all these filters set up. Let's go ahead and clear them out. I'm just going to click on the X here to clear all these filters out. Um, so this is everything that's starting uh, from right now. Um, or has for practice sessions, these practice sessions started earlier. So it's showing the start time of the practice session. So it started maybe 2 hours ago or something. Um, so this is like too much stuff to wade through. And you can see also it's showing here like where this server is. Uh, you don't need to worry about most of this stuff. Over here, there's a button that says filter results. This is your friend. Click on filter results, and then you probably want to just click on this to turn on the thing for just show stuff I'm eligible for. And if you're not interested in buying any additional content right now, uh, maybe just show you stuff that you already own the car for and the track for. Um, so that way, everything you're going to see is relevant right now. And so now if we look at the list down here, it's it's more filtered. Uh, it has stuff I own. You're going to see a different list of stuff. It's stuff you own. Um, but you'll see there's practices and there's, if we get down far enough, there's races down here. You may be like, oh, I've done all the practicing I want to do. Um, I've already practiced for my race. I'm ready to go. I want to find a race session. Okay, so scroll back up here. We can turn on this filter for show me only races, basically. Um, there's one for qualify, which some races you have to qualify for in a separate session. Uh, that only is necessary for a small number of series, I think, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Um, so anyway, so we can hide this little filtering uh, thing. So now these are the races that I am eligible for on tracks that I own with cars that I own. So you'll see I can click on the register button on any of these. Or I can click on the update button on these. It says update because I own this content, but there's a later version. They updated this track or they updated this car, and I haven't yet downloaded that change. So if I click this button, it'll give me the thing. So apparently they updated Weed Sport Speedway, and so I don't have the latest version. So I'd have to click on the update button here for it to download that. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do that right now, um, but you get the idea. So now let's go ahead and so if we click this one, it's currently 5:37 p.m. So this is race is starting at 5:45 p.m. So if we register right now, there's going to be a new button that appears up here. This is going to, after a few seconds, this join button is going to be, you can click on it. Also, withdraw means unregister. I don't know why they didn't just use like the opposite of the same word. Um, so when this join button is ready, we can join it. But we're not actually going to be joining the race because the race doesn't start for another 7 minutes. We're going to be joining a practice session before the race. And so that way you can, warm up some more or whatever. And so you can go run some laps. And those people in that session, they may just be in the practice session and they're not going to race, or they may be in the practice session also waiting to race. So when 5:45 rolls around, you'll see a message in red text on the screen, even if you're in the middle of driving the car, that says exit this session to join the session you've registered for, something like that. So come to a complete stop, hold the escape button on your keyboard or press the button on your wheel that you have mapped to jump out of the car. So now you're out of the car and you're like in the pits in that screen. In the upper right area of the screen, kind of right around here-ish, there's a garage button, an options button, and a race button will have now appeared there. You'll click on that race button. Now it's going to load the track again, and now you're going to be in a warm-up session before the race with the people who were registered for the race that you're going to be in, your group. Because there could be 100 people registered, but only 25 can fit on the track at the same time. So there would be like four different races starting at the same time. And so your group of 25, let's say, uh, are going to be in your warm-up session. So you can go roll around, go see what the track is like, because track conditions could be different from practice or what have you. The weather might be different, whatever. Um, then after about 3 minutes, the warm up will end and it'll tell you, okay, now it's time to qualify. So you'll be back in the garage kind of pit area thing, and the button at the top center of the screen, instead of saying practice or test drive like you might be used to seeing, it will say qualify. So you'll click on the qualify button. Now you're in the car and you can go do your qualifying laps. It's one warm up lap and two flying laps, and then you can keep driving after that until it kicks you out of the car. Um, and at that point, you'll be back in like the garage pit area thing. And then once the timer runs down for the end of qualifying, however many minutes are set for qualifying, then the button will change to um, it says grid, and it'll start a countdown for like 2 minutes or 90 seconds or something. So you'll click on that grid button, and now you'll be put in the car on the grid in the order you're supposed to be in. And people might be talking or revving their engines or uh, getting nervous or whatever they do. Um, and so now you're just waiting for the race to start. If you're doing like dirt oval stuff, it'll be rolling start. So at some point, it'll say, okay, go ahead and start rolling and put your car in gear and rolling along. If you're doing like a standing start, you're just waiting for the lights to come up, and then the lights will go from out to red to green when it's time to drop the hammer and go. But that's the way you do it. Let me know if you have any questions. Uh, yeah, this thing has tons and tons of sessions. It can get intimidating because there's so much shit going on. Um, but that's the basics. Uh, Here it says different countries. These mean what country is the server in. Generally, you want to be on servers that are in your country, but for dirt stuff, most of it's going to be in the U.S. anyway. You really have to worry about that hardly ever. Um, so that's that. Enjoy.